Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Experience Exchange. We have the wonderful Rita here. She is a transformational change guide and a spiritual entrepreneur.
I love that.
Yes. When I first met you at your shop in Crystal Land, I just got this energy like, whoa. I was like, wow, this person is angelic and just so calming.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes. So for the folks, your big three, you are a Capricorn sun, Pisces moon, and Capricorn rising.
Yes.
Yes. So grounded and so healing at the same time.
I love that description.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about your business. We can start with Crystal Land. That's how most people know you is because of your brick and mortar location, but it's so much deeper than that. But we will start there. Tell us about Crystal Land.
For one, thanks for having me.
Yes.
One thing I love about you is that you are very forthcoming with providing a safe space for people to tell their story and for people to also speak to the community. So I really appreciate that. But when it comes to Crystal Land, we specialize in energetic healing. So in that, we have quite a few products. We specialize in candles. We have crystals and metaphysical products that align with people as they go on their journey. We are also really big on our services. So in addition to the products that we provide, we encompass a lot of energetic healing. So we'll talk a little bit about angelic healing later, but that is my specialty. I also like to help people as they go through their major transformational shifts in the form of assisting them with products as well as subconscious rework.
Yeah. And I love that you also have a lot of like culturally specific things. Like you have Florida water, you have some Orisha stuff, right? What are some of the more like cultural specific products that you have that like we can't really find anywhere else in town?
Absolutely. So you bring up a good point because I'm always talking about intention. I feel like when you speak intention into a product, you're basically aligning with someone's energy. And in that, I would have to say are candles. What started out as one candle during COVID has grown into quite a huge candle collection. And so a lot of our candles are themed intention candles. So we do have an Orisha collection. We have an Archangel collection. We also just started a Greek collection where we have just a couple of goddesses, but we're expanding as the energy aligns with people who come in with recommendations and requests on certain angels and certain deities to create. So that'd be the first thing I'd say that you can't find anywhere else. All the candles are homemade, very snobbish when it comes to quality. So
have to be.
One thing that started the journey with candles was that it was hard for me to find a candle that spoke to my energy through like honoring of my ancestors, honoring of specific angels that I would work with, but with good quality, where they wouldn't be toxic with me using them. So that's kind of what birthed it. And I think from there, there's a little bit of everything for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of, I've been on the hunt for a tangerine selenite wand because I've really been called to do like energy cleanses. And it's just such a rare like stone and also shape to find that I was like, okay, I'm giving up. I think your shop was the last shop that we went to, and I was like, okay, it's this or it's bust, because I couldn't even really find them online. I am of Latina background, and so normally there's like the egg cleanses, but like eggs are getting expensive. Every few years it's like $12 a carton, and there's like an avian flu crisis, but also it's like messy, and I'm like, I don't want to be like cracking eggs in my studio. So we were looking, and I was gonna buy just like a big normal selenite wand, and then David had a really good eye. He was like, babe, tangerine selenite egg, best of both worlds, like in terms of the stone I wanted and my culture. And I'm like, I've used this on people, and I tell them it's very experimental because I'm still experimenting with energy healing, and I've used it on myself, and I have really like felt its power, and I like to charge it under certain like full moons, and it's such a good quality. Like your stuff is just good quality, period. So I love that Capricorn like earthed nature in you, but also making sure that like it makes sense, because
it has to make sense.
Yeah, it has to make sense. Like, why would you have stuff that isn't quality?
Not just that, but I love how you incorporated your traditional values and the way that you cleanse with the product.
Yeah.
I find that that's very intuitive. I feel that oftentimes when we're looking for things, especially when it comes to like crystals or something to make us feel better or help us on our like energetic journey, it's all like very deep subconsciously, and a lot of that is connected to cultural values. And so it's good that you led with that, and it's good for you too, David, for seeing that as well, thinking about her.
Yes, he's so sweet. Even though he's like, the skeptic, that's our whole dichotomy, like he's still so supportive, and I love that.
Yeah, yin and yang.
Yes. How long have you had your brick and mortar location?
So we will be 3 years, 11/11 this year. Prior to that, we were doing a lot of markets. So we started during COVID. This was back when everyone had time, and I tried everything. I tried sewing, and it just took one candle. I got a candle kit off Amazon, and that kind of sold the rest. I was always into crystals, but I feel like specifically during that time frame is where I was incorporating them into like the healing part. And so it just went hand in hand, I feel.
Yeah. A lot of my spiritual sisters, like they'll have the intuition, they'll have the gifts, but then to scale a business and have it sustain even during COVID, like you need both. And that's where I see a lot of our like spiritual people struggle, because they're missing that like strong Capricorn element that you bring of like actually scaling. So good for you for having like a successful brick and mortar and online business as well.
I love when you say this because I'm very humbled. I will say that one thing that we hear a lot, and one thing that I feel gives me drive, is understanding that when it comes to the energetic side, so when it comes to the philanthropy that a lot of us go in the community with, meaning that we're not tying this to the value of like how much it costs, how to sell it, how to make it into a business, a lot of that work is subconscious. And oftentimes we carry that energy of like coming out and being seen, and almost like shedding that extra layer of like being visible and feeling the shame of people who came before us that carried that energetic gift that didn't know how to use it. And so that's what I feel has helped the store grow. I feel like as I've been more in tune and connected to my growth journey, that's where I feel that the journey has expanded. So I can't even take credit for that. I feel like the community values positive change. The community also values the genuine care that I feel is present in the store when we are working with so many different elements, so many different angels, so many different levels of spirituality. I just feel like it's helpful for people to feel it versus looking at it as like a success. I think the success is just in people having the connection to it.
And something that we first connected on was the fear of being seen, because I know that when I started this, I was definitely afraid of being seen, but eventually I pushed through. Did you ever have a fear of like being seen, or just because of the work we do, people misunderstanding us and being like, witchcraft? And it's like, yes, but it's not what you think.
I think so. My background is a little bit unique. I was raised very Christian. My mother is a person of faith. I came from a family of faith. And so for me, I always felt a disconnect with being able to receive and commune in a very private setting with my higher power. I always felt conflicted in that. And so when it comes to being visible, I think there's a part of us that want to be visible and are afraid to be seen, and then there's also us that don't care to be seen just because we know what the true genuine relationship feels like. And so yes, I've definitely felt both aspects. I feel that shame is connected to doing things that we were taught that fundamentally are just like buried within again our subconscious beliefs. You'll hear me say that a lot because I truly feel like that's the underlying symptom that comes through as like shame, guilt, fear of rejection, fear of judgment. And in that, I find that the more you connect to the mission and the more that you connect to the value and the message that you feel, and also your story matters, and there's someone who is going to have their defining healing moment just by hearing that, even if it's something simple, I feel that as we shift into the power that holds, it gives us the courage. And there's also power in the journey to getting there as well. Because I feel like a lot of times we just try to overlook it and just put ourselves full frontal. But as we're going within and as we're working through the symptoms that are causing the shame and the visibility and the fear of being seen, it's almost like we don't have to do much. We just have to feel the connection with the journey and where we're supposed to go, whether it's just one foot in front of the other, one message after another. For me, it looked like finding still moments to allow myself to pour into myself. I think it all is connected to like the overarching picture of like that fear that it comes with. Another layer I like to talk about a lot is that there's quite a few people who go through the conflict of like how to profitize, how to make like tangible income with the use of your gifts. Number one, there's that fear of acknowledging the gift. I think a lot of us are humble. A lot of us sit in that whole like, I'm not worthy of this. Even though like we're naturally intuitive when it even comes to feeling people, communicating with people, anticipating the value. Like, you know, when we first met, that energy that you feel initially before you even speak. A lot of things we feel already. And I think that as we work through the courage that we see within each other and the courage that we feel when we show up, that again becomes like another layer of work, but it is very good work once you understand that your energy is there to serve you.
It's definitely a spiritual journey where you do a lot of reflection when you become a spiritual entrepreneur, because it's like you don't want to price too low, but you also don't want to price too high. So it's like, what is that sweet spot? I've had a few people that have reached out saying like, I want to start, you've given me the courage to be visible, but like, I don't know what a fair price is. And I'm like, I can't answer that for you. Only you know what a fair price is. And I feel like people with genuine intentions are more likely to like undervalue themselves. And then it's like, you got to push a little higher. You're worth it. But you know, there are a few people that like way overshoot, and it's like, what are you doing?
The way that I think about it, and I think just as we're going through this shift of people coming into entrepreneurship and coming into the journey of like wanting to be the sole contributor to their happiness and their level of abundance, whose hands do we want it in? Do we want it in these corporate mega companies that are already like receiving from us enough, whether it's time, money, like attention? Like, we give so much of that away already. So for me, the one thing I think about anytime I feel guilt or shame around energetic energy that you have to pour into people, I think about, would I rather them go to someone who's just going to manipulate and take from them? Or would I rather work with them exclusively and really help them get to the root of the overarching issue that they're trying to clear or work through? And so I would encourage anyone to just start. I think that's one thing that you said before we started the show, but I would encourage anyone who's feeling like that is start with your baseline, and as you work through your journey of understanding where your blocks lie, you'll feel the confidence and you'll feel the intention behind the value that you provide, that you connect with your prices.
Yeah, there are different types of like people along, you know, different spiritual paths. Some people are like, I know what I'm doing, I just need the stuff, thanks. And other people are like, I don't even know where to start. Like, I need a guide, I need someone to hold my hand. So tell us a little bit about the services that you currently offer.
Of course. So I do, I love my services. The number one that I'd say is, and most popular would be the angelic healing. This is for someone who is going through maybe a major shift in their life, and they're noticing that they have certain patterns that come up as they're going through that shift. For example, I feel strongly inspired to relate this to money and finances, but this is for someone who is maybe stuck into a job or a field that they feel like they're just tired of. They're wanting to attract a new opportunity, whether that's a solo opportunity or an opportunity that just provides more freedom and creativity. The first thing that we want to do is pay attention to our beliefs, because our beliefs, no matter how much we want to bring in something new, if we have a foundation that, you know, maybe our family teaches us, maybe we teach ourselves, maybe we've been in situations where we've been in negative friend groups that don't dream enough and don't inspire each other enough, then from there we want to start noticing those patterns. I like to make this very practical. I talk about the chakras a lot. People who come to the store are very familiar with symptoms that we talk about commonly when it comes into how to realign our energetic field. And part of this is once you start noticing a symptom. Let's say, like for me, I had a problem with impending doom, feeling like something bad was going to happen. I call it single mother syndrome, but it's a very apparent thing. I think that if you come from a house where you've had a major defining, like financial moment, or your parents that you've had to witness, it comes with that feeling of like, I'm scared to live freely because I'm scared something bad's going to happen, and then I'm just going to be stuck. So for example, we look at that symptom and then we find where it hits us in the body. So for me, my root chakra was a really big shift. I found that not only was I feeling the feelings of impending doom, but I also had problems with safety and security. I didn't feel safe with myself. I didn't feel secure with me being enough. And so as we find those energetic blockages, there's many different ways that you can clear them. The way that I incorporate angelic healing in particular is that I take you through a cleansing. I incorporate crystals into clearing that space. Once you energetically clear the space, then you can bring your awareness to that blockage. And so that's what makes it so special. It's not something that you have to go to sleep and wake up and everything is fine and fixed. It's something that I'm subconsciously taking you through. So you're able to feel the energy of that blockage. You're able to understand where your body's holding on to it. And once we clear that, then your body realigns. So we're not just focusing on the perception of being unsafe, we're focusing on, okay, I released this energy of this memory that happened when I was 12 years old, and now I'm able to see and connect with the energy of feeling grounded. And so that's one thing I like to focus on. I say with angelic healing, typically what happens is there's one major block that your body is holding on to. And once we unopen and we release that, then we're able to see. It's almost like we're able to see the next step and align with the next step, which is important. Because then you don't have the feeling of, not believing in the potential. Your body feels safe, your body feels connected, and so your mind is just able to be there as a guide.
That's so powerful, and it makes me think back to a younger version of me that could have benefited from that, because when I was starting, like after college, I just had horrible job, and I was like, oh, this is just the workforce. And no, I was attracting these like semi-abusive relationships because I just went to the first job that would take me. I was like, you see me as worthy because I had like self-love issues. So just like the first place that was going to offer me a paycheck, I felt so worthy to be picked. And it's like, no, I should be more selective. And once I realized that, I landed in my current 9 to 5, which is just such a positive place. So I'm like, oh, I see how those two things could connect. And I would have never thought to connect like career and money to angelic healing, but that is so wonderful.
It's all energy. And I mean, we have those people that are like, it's not all energy. That's not true. There's still, you have to do the work. You have to it's all energy. My story is a testament to that. I've seen it over and over again, that when people take the focus off of what's happening around them and they look within and they find areas within their body where they're holding on to trauma, it's as easy as acknowledging that it's there, bringing light energy in to allow it to clear. And that's what makes it very magical. I believe that anyone who is wanting to understand themselves more, it's something that I would recommend for sure.
I've had some clients that are like, I just want you to do everything for me. And it's like, as a service provider, like I could get you to baseline, but then you have to maintain it, or like you have to do some extra work that like I can't do for you. Like, for example, like, yes, I could tell you when the best times are to do some releasing, but if you're not cleaning your crib, like I can't do that for you. I can't clean it. I can't burn Palo Santo in your apartment. Like, you have to do that piece. Do you assign your folks like work after, or like, for a lack of a better word, homework after a session?
Sometimes, but it's funny because when you say all that, I look at it all as symptoms, because that used to be me. Like, wanting the work in my mind would visualize how that work would feel, how it would look, my ambitions, my goals, and then around me there would just be clutter. And so once I started doing this subconscious work and really understanding what the root was, the clutter was just a symptom that it didn't go away on its own, but my awareness gave me the desire to want to remove it. And so, yes, I definitely believe that anyone looking to, like I said, just fall asleep and wake up and be healed, they may want to think about a different modality. But definitely, I feel like people come to us for transformational change. And in that, there's not a magic pill. It comes with inspired action. Yeah, definitely think it's a good idea to give people, maintenance maintenance tips in order to keep that energy clear.
Yeah. That makes so much sense. And now that I think about it, do you think that a lot of people like try to intellectualize healing in this society and not actually like feel the feelings?
Yeah, I had that problem. I feel like I went through a period in the very beginning. I find myself there sometimes too, I'm just going to be honest, because I think as soon as we start to feel bad, we try to look at something outside of us to help us feel good. And whether it's like trying a new technique or going on a medicinal journey, it's different ways of just like trying to outsource that healing. But I find my most major shifts have gone through going within and doing that self-work.
Yeah.
And everything else is just a reflection of like that part.
Yeah, you're so right with outsourcing, because it's like, what candle can I burn? What shrooms can I take? What like crystal can I buy? But it's like, you could have all the tools, but you need to know how to use them on yourself.
We get that all the time. It's almost like you want to look at these things outside of us as tools. They are not, like, it's almost like when we talk about medicine doesn't always treat, it can manage. And oftentimes, if we think about that concept and we extend that to crystals, to candles, they're here to help us with aligning with the energy that we need to set the intention. That's it.
Yeah.
So once our body feels connected to it, I feel that it's up to us to tell it what to do. Tell it what to do and ask for what we need in order to align with the energy that is going to help us.
And since you do a lot of angel healing, I love that. Are there like specific angels that you work with or that you see most often?
Yeah, so I like to ask people when they sign up for an angelic healing session if there's any angels that they work with. If not, then what I do is I just channel the energy in that moment. Oftentimes it'll come through as a color. When we think about like archangels or orishas, oftentimes they're symbolized by a color or an energy. Also an intention. So I think that comes with just screening and making sure that we are aligned with what we're working on in that moment. When people come in, though, it's usually very apparent what area they're focusing on. I can feel the energy of fear, and usually when that happens, it's working with their inner courage and allowing them to release any blockages related to what's keeping them scared or afraid.
Do people just get like one angel and that's it, or can they work with like multiple angels?
So I'm not one of those people that's going to be prescriptive when it comes to telling people who to align with or what to align with. I'm what I would call a spiritualist, meaning that I look at the intention and look at the situation and the energy in that deity, that angel. And in that, I always tell people, focus on what you're drawn to. Because you being drawn to it is what is important for you to pick up on in that moment. I take myself out of it because I like people to understand and connect with the energy that's telling them where to go. I think that if you're setting people up with long-term success, they can't always need you.
Oh, yes. Amen to that. Yeah.
Again, single mother syndrome. Like, I love my kids, but I want them to feel confident and empowered to make their own decisions. And I like to extend that to clients as well, because we all have that inner GPS. And sometimes we just get used to society telling us where to go. And it's just not the type of work I want to do.
Yeah. Always be like on speed dial. Yeah. That would also get expensive because your time is valuable. Yeah.
I think, again, this comes with just understanding that we're moving into a shift where we're being given the gift of using our gifts in combination with technology, in combination with, more resources to really own what we, feel aligned to. And so I want everyone to have that same connection when it comes to what lights them up and what direction they want to go in.
Yeah, I feel like now people are a lot more open-minded with ease of access of like the internet, people sharing their story. Something that we've mentioned before, if you wanted a platform, like you would have to go through like an agent, a network, etc. And now anyone can just be like, this is my truth and my story. So yes, I am so excited. So I'm excited to continue to talk about angel healing, all the great work you do after this break. Today's episode is brought to you by us, Kythera Collective. If you've been vibing with the energy of the show, then you're going to love the Kythera Club over on Patreon. It's a space that I built for the cosmic, the curious, and the slightly chaotic. You know who you are. With 3 delicious tiers to choose from, we start with the chocolate level at $4 a month, which gains you access to weekly horoscopes and the exclusive Unhinged podcast, where I say things that don't make it to this main feed. It's sweet, it's spicy, and it's just for you. Next, we have the cafe level at $7 a month. This is where things really start to get cooking. You'll receive access to exclusive workshops, monthly virtual hangouts, and a private Discord community where you can chat directly with me and receive exclusive behind the scenes updates. It's magical, cozy, and a little unhinged in the best way. Finally, we have the tequila level. This is the VIP lounge. At $25 a month, you'll receive everything from the previous tiers, plus a personal 15-minute one-on-one session with myself or David each month, and discounts if you want to extend the session. It's a whole vibe and a powerful way to receive personalized guidance. So if you've been laughing along with us, crying or rage screaming in agreement, come hang out with us at the Kythera Club. Head over to patreon.com/JenCallo and choose your tier. If you want to sponsor an episode and advertise with us, go to our website, www.jencallo.com. All right, now back to the show. Welcome back to this episode of Experience Exchange. So I would like to ask you a semi-controversial question with a particular angel. Okay. How do you feel about Santa Muerte?
Oh,
because
this is a good question. This is a hot topic. Yeah.
Yes, people have a lot of opinions about her.
Yeah. So it's funny backstory. We honor many different religions, many different deities. It's an all-inclusive store. I will put an asterisk and say light energy, and I will say that she has a story that people who know, and it's not up to me to be the deciding factor for what people are drawn to. One thing I can say is that in the store, Santa Muerte represents protection, divine protection. And I love the different types of people who I see that are drawn to her and for different intentions. And so I will tell people it's not up to us to criticize or judge different types of religion or spirituality. In doing that, we're just promoting the energy of judgment. And so when we're intentional about the work that we do, we have to acknowledge that. There are some people in the community that still feel entitled to pass judgment. It's just not something that I represent. And I feel like it's important to hold space for people who are looking to their higher power to bring protection, and whether it's financial abundance, whether it's redirecting any negative energy that they may feel around them. I just don't believe it's our place.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm not like a toxic positivity, love and light type of person. I think that you do have to do protection work. Sometimes you do.
100%.
Yeah. Sometimes you do have to banish people if they're being annoying. Like, you won't start it, but you'll definitely protect yourself from whatever someone else starts. I've had a lot of clients say like, oh, I don't know about like protection work. I don't want to like do anything bad to them. And it's like, it's not negative to protect yourself.
Not at all. And I think, again, when it comes to the misinformation, people have a perception based off of what they're taught by who, and I think that with awareness, which is the first step to true transformational change, you have to have awareness on what areas that I'm just not knowledgeable enough in. And I find that when people get the information, especially when they get trusted information from someone who is more open and accepting of different types of people, then they can apply it in a logical way that doesn't give them room to like add the extra level of like fear. I think that the main drivers of change are fear and chaos. And so in that, when people see like family members, loved ones, people in their circle going through a shift, their first thing is, all right, fear, I'm afraid of what this person is doing, and chaos, I'm afraid that what they're doing is going to end up giving something back negative. But yeah, when you understand that we are all working with herbs, we're working with different elements, not to, I just feel like it take a lot of energy to direct that in a negative way. I think that there's a much better intention in protecting yourself and being able to set the intention for the energy that you want to bring. And also, I always like to warn people that you can tell when someone is into something that doesn't have positive outcomes, just by the way that it feels within the heart space. So if you're being guided to do a protection ritual, pay attention to how it feels in your heart space. Pay attention to what's going on around you. And if you feel the desire to add another layer of just that intimate connection by setting the intention, go for it. If you feel like it's going to cause a negative output, understand that you're just transmuting the energy into like a negative way by hurting someone or bringing ill will to someone. You can also feel that. You can feel rage behind that. So yeah, it just depends on the person and also the way that it feels in the heart space. But I'm all about a reversal. I'm all about a protection ritual.
Yes, reversals are beautiful because it's like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just sending your own energy back to you. That's it. Yeah. I'm also a big believer with like spell work of like, as long as it doesn't negatively impact somebody else, do what you will. And that also includes love spells and like love work. When you're trying to will someone who doesn't love you to love you, like, I have a problem with that. There's a difference with like trying to do love spells of like attracting the right person at the right time. Yeah. Or strengthening like your current relationship with the person that loves you. But have you ever had people come into the store?
All the time. All the time.
Love and money are the biggest topics in our field.
Everyone wants love. Everyone wants money. 110%. But yeah, I always tell people the same thing. Like, the best way for you to attract the right love, it's going to hurt to hear, it's very cliche, is to focus on yourself. Focus on you being the center of that love and aligning with the energy from your heart space. That's going to attract the right partner. And also in that attracting the right partner, it's also going to attract the wrong partner to give you the lessons or the situation that you need to have the higher perspective.
I genuinely believe that, like, if you sort of like RuPaul's quote, if you don't love yourself, how can anyone else love you? Like, if you're looking for that external validation, like, you're just gonna attract the wrong people because you don't love yourself first. Yeah.
And again, this comes from subconsciously. Like, how many of us, remember moments in elementary school where someone said something really mean?
Oh, yeah.
And it stuck with us. And so when we think about love, we question whether or not someone cares about us if this part of us is so imperfect. And I think it comes with just understanding that and understanding that that's trapped within the body and it's driving a lot of our behaviors. It's not the love that we need, it's the alignment to the energy of love that we already carry. I think it just helps with understanding. It's like a filter, understanding exactly what needs to stay and what needs to go.
So what other services do you offer besides obviously your brick and mortar, like actual goods and angelic healing? Are there any other services that you offer?
So we do angelic healing. We also do chakra cleansing. I'm very big advocate on understanding the chakra system. I feel like at the very base level, especially for my logical people who try to make sense energetically about like where this makes sense for them, pay attention to understanding the chakra system. And so in that we do chakra cleansing. The chakra cleansing is also very powerful session. This is for someone who is, again, very clear to their symptoms and they're able to communicate their symptoms so we can focus on specific areas within the body. And then we also do Reiki. Reiki is very similar concept. It's just a very traditional style. And so we offer both. I feel more liberated in the chakra cleansing just because it allows me to incorporate the crystal aspect and the channeling to make sure that we're focused on that specific area that we can bring balance to.
Reiki is originally from Japan, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've always like conflated the two. What's the difference between like chakra balancing and Reiki?
Yeah, so when we think about Reiki, we're thinking about traditional style, like a traditional modality. So we have defined energetic symbols that we use throughout sessions to help align each of the chakras. So in Reiki, we have, so a lot of people are familiar with Usei or Om. Om is a symbol as well. But we use different symbols to focus on those chakras. It's a very formal style. With Reiki, you have to go through training. You have to go through your own journey with healing. And in that, I've just taken that and allowed my guided release incorporated in the chakra cleansing. So it's just taking it a step higher. We do the traditional session, but we also go back and focus on that specific chakra. And 9 times out of 10, it'll pull the person towards an event or a memory that they're holding on to within that chakra. And then from there, we're able to release and balance it.
Okay, wow. So you do a lot of also trauma healing and trauma work.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think that a lot of people come when they're carrying the trauma in their body and their mind is almost envisioning or connected to their higher self and wanting to pull them back there. And so that's what I specialize in.
How do you rebalance chakras? Do you work like with like a specific element? Some people do sound, some people do crystals, smoke cleansing.
There's so many different ways to get there. There's also color therapy. There's also diet. There's so many different ways. I say it's just a matter of finding a way that aligns with you. I love sound healing. I like to incorporate sound healing in the sessions, but even more, I feel like it's a really good like post-care step. I definitely believe that that's the easiest way if it's, if there's someone that is wanting to start like right now. That's like the quickest way for you to do is go on YouTube, type in the chakra and align with the hertz sound. That's going to help with bringing balance there.
Yeah.
Meditation, visualization. There's a lot of different ways to get there.
Do your services have to be in person or can you also do them virtually?
Yeah, they can be virtually. I've done both. I feel that a lot of people have this fear that they have to be in front of someone, but I often find that when people are in a comfortable space that they feel relaxed, the energy is oftentimes stronger, meaning that I'm able to help them focus and channel more versus them being in person and being nervous or not feeling like they're at home.
Yeah, people also get skeptical when I say I could do like tarot readings virtually. They're like, don't I have to be in front of you? And it's like energy transcends space and time. Like, no, you don't have to be in front of me. It's totally okay. Yeah, so I'm glad that your services are so accessible in that way.
I always like to give people this example when they talk about energy. Like, have you ever seen a movie that, you're not there, but you see a scene in a movie that just makes you very emotional? It's energy. Or when you're on the phone with someone and someone says something that hits you in the heart space and, you feel connected to them in that moment, like that's energy. And so when we talk about like readings or like healing sessions, we're just taking that energy and channeling it in a different way, but it's the same.
Do you do any group services or sessions, or do you only do one-on-one work?
So right now I'm only doing one-on-one work. My vision for the future would definitely look like group sessions. It's just allowing that to manifest and see exactly what actions I need to align with to take. But for right now, we just do single sessions. I find that people need the channeled energy from me. And until I receive, more guidance on how that group platform looks, then I'll open up.
Okay. Do you do any ancestor work at all with any of your services?
Not professionally. I feel like ancestrally, I am more of a guide. I guide people to what they are connected to. My ancestry, I'm very particular in the hoodoo culture. So a lot of my principles and values come from traditional hoodoo, family from the South, auntie, grandma type of rituals. And I do talk about them a lot, but I don't have like a guided teaching where I help people tap in.
Okay. Because I know sometimes when a loved one passes on, people are like, I gained a guardian angel.
Yes.
So I was curious if in your angelic sessions, if an ancestor could come as an angel. Okay.
the time.
Okay.
Sometimes they come, like a lot of times people will come before the session, like they'll just come to shop and I can feel it then. I always tell people you are more protected than you even know. And I say that because witnessing it every day, witnessing synchronicities and coincidences that people have in the store, whether it's seeing something that reminds them of their grandma, feeling the energy of their grandma, smelling a candle that reminds them of their grandma. There's so much love that I feel draws people in that they don't even know about.
Wow, I love that. We've talked about like clairs and psychic abilities before. Like, what would you say is your strongest clair? I genuinely believe that everyone has at minimum one, if not all of them. It's like a muscle you have to work.
Yeah.
But what would you say is like the first clair that you noticed or your strongest one?
That's a hard question, and I say that just because I feel it's like part of the senses. So for me, most of my insight comes from visualizations. So I can see and connect the story pretty quickly in the way that I get information. I also hear, but not through like traditional like auditory hearing. Most of my guidance comes from just a different tone in what sounds like an inner voice, but I know just in going through the muscle memory that it's not. And I can feel. I think that as a kid is always something that I would always be labeled as too sensitive, too emotional, up and down. But now that I'm older and I'm more aware of how that hits and the type of energy that the shifts happen with, I definitely feel a lot of guidance as well. I don't know the clear terms, but
Yeah. When you say feel, like there are people that can like, I guess, feel like sensations like hot, cold, and it means different things, or they can literally feel like, oh, your leg hurts. Like, I feel that for you. Like, what type of like feeling do you
Yeah, so that's a big one. That's a really big one. So physically, yes, especially with my children. Different areas where they're holding on to pain, or like pain that maybe a family member will complain about days later. I feel like more people, as we tap in, are more aware of that being a symptom or a sense. But definitely that. And it's just an inner knowing. It's almost like I don't have to feel it within my body. I more so feel it within my heart space. Like it's not like a physical feeling all the time. It's just a connection that it's hard to put into words, but it feels like flushing almost. It could also feel, it's hard to describe, just that feeling when something feels right. So anytime that there's like discernment or questions around like, is it me or am I tripping? It's that feeling of assurance that I feel in the heart space.
Do you ever get dreams, like when you dream like messages or anything like that?
The only dreams I get is when loved ones transition. I'm not a dreamer. I love and value like people coming and having like really lucid, vivid dreaming. I can remember my dreams. They're typically very profound, but they're not often. And typically they're there seasonally. Like a close family member, when they transition, I'll have a dream. And that's like my confirmation. Like, okay, they're good. I can, but it's not something that, I don't travel in my dreams like most fun people.
Speaking of sleeping, like, do you get enough sleep? Because like you're a healer, you're a mom, you're always doing things for other people. Like, how do you make sure to take care of yourself?
That's important. I'm really big on energetic boundaries.
Yes.
So
yes.
just as much as I'm there and I offer myself up for people, it's very intentional. So and it's funny you say that, because I feel like it's always going to be something in my face that I'm going to be faced with as far as like time commitments or priorities, because I like to do a lot. But I can say that I have my moments of solitude, and I'm that friend that will energetically be in solitude as I'm in my shell, as I'm re-energizing, and then I'll resurface with a long text, just letting you know. But I truly believe that spending time alone for me is what helps me recharge. It helps me reconnect. I don't do very well with outside noise, so I can't be too much for everyone at the same time. I'm very calculated when it comes to that. So in that, I definitely believe that having a schedule helps me. I'm Capricorn through and through.
Yes.
If it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. This includes phone calls. This includes like showing up for people. And so I naturally am very systematic in that area. But yeah, also I pay attention to the information I take in. So I don't do a lot of heavy energy shows or movies. I know some people can hold that energy. I'm not one of those people. So if I see a very traumatic movie, like some people will get excited with the horror, and for me it's just different. And so I give myself like permission to rest in that. I don't try to stay current with like certain shows that are out. And then also I spend a lot of time with my kids, and I feel like kids keep me in the present. They keep me always looking at things with a different lens. So whereas one would say overworked or tired or too many commitments, for me, it just feels like opportunities of being able to do like what I love to do.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I've always thought, because we're on a journey to expand our family eventually, I think about like, you know, what protection rituals would I do for my kid, or like abundance rituals? Like, do you as a mother extend your work like to your kids?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's so important. I think generationally it's important to teach. I feel like I was taught even indirectly, like through certain rituals that my family did that they didn't even label as certain, you know, certain aspects of religion or spirituality. But I definitely feel like the main teacher is through actions. So I don't let my kids see me in moments where I am not regulated. I do believe that it's good to have a healthy balance, but I think as we're working through our inner child, it's important to acknowledge and give ourselves grace in having that as like a boundary. I do feel like it's important to communicate with kids. I do also feel like it's important for them to self-regulate. But I'm a true believer that codependency starts at home. And so in that I'm just very, very mindful of the energy that I bring to them and allow them to hold the space that they can handle. But yeah, definitely we do cleanses. We honor moonlight water. We honor setting intentions for the day. So as we're going to school, we're visualizing how our day is going to go. The music in the car is going to resonate in that space of like hype, like getting them hyped up for the morning. And then also at the end of the night, oftentimes kids hold on to a lot of energy because they're taking that energy from adults from school who are probably overworked, underpaid, frustrated with, you know, the job, the kids, and then we're also taking the energy from other kids who are feeling the stress from their homes. And so it's really important to help them unpack that. I think a lot of our behaviors that we witness like around our kids is them holding on to a lot of it. And so it's important to, just as you need it, just as you need a cleanse, just as you need your personal space and your boundaries to recharge, give that grace to them.
Yeah. When I imagine your kids, because I've never met them, I imagine to be just like so well regulated and like chill. But they have their own little personalities, I'm sure.
I have 3 girls and they're all 3 years apart. And so in that, my house is a little crazy, but it's crazy in a way that is very authentic. And it's also in a way that allows them to feel the energy of themselves. And in that, I'm just here as a guide. Again, I'm here as a guide to help them come to, you know, themselves with loving boundaries. But I mean, I'm not going to lose myself in the process.
Yes, absolutely. So what does the future of like Crystal Land look like? Do you have any exciting updates that you can share with us? Yeah,
so the next step is just going to be more vocal in teaching. I feel like with the information, being able to have the insight of the spiritual part, the logical part, the subconscious part, I think we're just in a season where we're expanding through the art of teaching. And so you can look forward to just information on how to do the work within without having to outsource the work. It also comes with a lot of good tips, a lot of good things that I feel like as we're moving into this season of more spirit-led work, how to connect with the energy of that in order to financially make it into a shift in which you can support yourself.
So if I understand correctly, you're going to do more like classes and workshops in the future?
Yeah, I see classes and workshops, but I also see just from a public platform, being able to record some of these sessions and just offer them to people. So people who just aren't in the city, that can't travel to the store, or who aren't ready to make an appointment, can go and reference a few of the guided sessions and be able to start to do the work at home.
Oh, I love that. Yes. Because I've realized this about like myself and my journey. There's only so much you can do one-on-one. It's like a 1-to-1 ratio versus like when you do classes, when you do online stuff, like you can reach so many people at the same time, and it's so
100%.
wonderful. Yeah. Well, that's very exciting. I will definitely be on the lookout for that. I also told my coworkers about your crystal shop, and one of them ordered like eggs in every color. They loved that. So yeah, what is your website and what can people purchase from you virtually?
So our website is crystalland.online. And they can purchase anything pertaining to crystals. We have a huge selection, all different types of crystals. And then from there, we have candles, we have our room sprays, we have our smudge sticks, incense, anything that you can think of as a tool for your spiritual journey. We probably have. And one thing that's beautiful about us is that we're always open to ideas. So as we're expanding, I feel like part of our growth journey has just been being able to take in really good tips, really good recommendations from people who are trying different things. So there's always that aspect of things are always changing with us as well.
So don't be afraid to ask if it's like, hey, do you carry this or do you know where to get this?
Yeah, remember awareness. And sometimes things we're just not aware of. And when people come with really good tools that have worked for them, I like to highlight that and make sure that it's available to other people.
And can people also book virtual services on your website, on the same website?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
a lot of information too as far as teaching. So for those who are maybe curious about crystals, don't know what direction to go, we have a crystal match. So you can just fill out a questionnaire. For people who are just looking for divine inspiration, we have an oracle generator there. So it'll generate like a daily message.
Wow.
For my girls who like to follow moon cycle rituals, we also have a moon cycle widget there as well. So it helps, again, with this energy of teaching and allowing people to start taking in different types of information to understand what works for them. A lot of that is also on the website.
This is why you're like one of my favorite people, because of that Capricorn, like innovation, practicality. Like, oh, I love that. I've seen your website, but I haven't seen those things.
Yeah.
So I need to check it out. But I will include your social media profile, your website, all of that in the show notes. Thank you so much for coming and
you as
sharing your
well.
story. I'm so happy we finally made this happen.
Of course.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a great day, and definitely check Rita out. And we hope you enjoyed all of the information. Bye.
Bye.